one thing I felt like this was too good of a year for the Bucks. Like it felt like they went too easily last year. I felt like they had like a struggle to make the playoffs more competitive for their own selves. And also, let's not ignore the elephant in the room. Antonio Brown is not there when they needed an extra weapon. Despite his, antics and so on and so forth, they needed one more weapon to just kind of like edge out that team. That team is stacked on offense and defense with superstars. Von Miller, Aaron Donald, Odell Beckham Jr., Stafford. I even give Akers a little credit. And of course, um, Cup, of course. So it's just like I looked at it and I'm like, dude, like only way I can see them winning is if who gets the ball last. And I'm not putting it past Fearless Stafford at this point. Stafford he's gonna nut up and shut up. So giving him the chance to be that guy, I was like, yeah, he's that guy to do it. And there's a lot of times in the AFC, a lot of quarterbacks wasn't up to the challenge. Stafford never ever got the chance to step up to the challenge. So, I was like, go hard or go home.
Right on. I was looking at that game today, man. Obviously, I'm gonna be consistent with dying on the hill of Tom Brady, Thomas Patrick Edward Brady, and it was a great game. And I think I give a lot of respect to the Rams, and in this game, I want to when we talked about appropriate blame rating percentage or what have you, I I get I was getting infuriated with the Bucks defense. Um, but at the same time, like I said, hey, if it's not for them, the game isn't as close as it was. You don't really necessarily have an extra piece to go up against a defense like the Rams, even though, people give it to Tom Brady and saying, oh, well, you don't need much. You don't need much. So Godwin is out. And even the guy, Grayson, right? The receiver, Grayson, who filled in for Antonio Brown when he had left in that game against the Jets, he was even out. So you were down in there. Then you have Wars, who he was out. His backup ended up getting hurt, and then you was left with a rookie trying to fulfill that position and trying to like stop the onslaught of Von Miller and Aaron Donald. In that game, Brady was pressured 17 times, the most he has all season. Von Miller had 9 of those pressures, and then obviously the strip sack. And so the Rams, they did everything they could to just about almost lose the game. They are the fourth team in NFL history to lose 4 fumbles in a playoff game, yet still find a way to win. You talk about the luck of the draw, Coach Johnson, and like things really not being in your control there. And yeah, so far Brady is 0-3 against the Rams since he's come over to the Bucks, man. Disappointed, disappointed. Obviously see Brady lose, but I think he did the best he could with what he had. He had an interception, he had a lost fumble, so I'm not gonna sit here acting like, oh, it's not Brady's fault. He played a role in that. Did the best he could. I know coming in, people were trying to give him praise like, oh, Brady's gonna get rid of the ball pretty fast, but to be also too, I didn't really like the. Yes, Brady didn't have, I guess if you want to say enough time, but I didn't like the route. I didn't really like those play calls for the majority of the game. It was a lot of stuff that seemed like, all right, as vicious as this defense is, as depleted as your offensive line, as vulnerable as your offensive line may be, these plays seem like they're taking entirely too long to be able to develop for Brady to even have a chance to like get it somewhere. So that's what I saw looking back at the tape, and so I was kind of just like, But in the end, they found the deep complementary football, right? Complementary football, team effort that was able to tie the game back up. But Cooper Cup put on a boot boot. May I have this dance? Back to back plays, and inevitably, you know, the Rams won the game. So yeah, it was a great game, and yeah, I give a lot of respect to the Rams. I don't know if we will continue to see the whole fumbleitis with the offense, the offensive snap and Cam Akers and Cooper Cup. Uh, but yeah, much respect to them. I think they're a team that be reckoned with. I know some people may feel indifferent about that.
Big shout out to Tom Brady actually coming out on top in a certain way. Like he actually his last possession was a positive possession. So, even though they lost the game, Tom Brady did have positive possession to end the
Bro,
season.
if the defense could have held and they didn't go what was that, 15 personnel all out blitz, like just come on, man. They gift wrapped that game, and I feel like Brady would have got the ball in OT, and we all know what would have happened, bro. But
They tried to rattle a player they thought they could be rattled.
Yeah.
They tried to rattle a player they thought they could be rattled, but he's never been in that position. He was in North Carolina. He was in Detroit with bad personnel who couldn't give him that opportunity. So when he got to the playoffs, he said, "Hey, I can play y'all."
But even apart from that, like me and you was talking earlier, Christian, yeah, the defense didn't play great, but like you were saying, that was the first time all the starters had finally been on the field together.
Yeah. That was
the chemistry was out of whack completely. Blown coverages, guys talking to each other before the ball snapping, like all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. You had that also too. Matthew Stafford, prior to this game, was the number 4 most efficient quarterback against the blitz, according to PFF, in the league. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers blitz on defense more than any other team in the league. And so, this is why, since Tom Brady's been there, they have not beat the Rams, because what the Rams are able to do on offense, they're able to take advantage of what the Bucs do well on defense. So without those turnovers, this should have been a 35-40, to 7 blowout. But with 4 turnovers, you had that. So the team that was supposed to win, they won. But you had that there. As far as Todd Bowles calling the zero blitz, I actually I'm okay with the call. I'm fine with the call, because this is what Todd Bowles has always done, and so he's been successful with it before, and he just happened to get burnt on it. I would love to see him, adjust sometimes. Hey, yes, we are a blitz heavy team.
But we getting killed.
But hey, we're not going to blitz today, right? But he's been very successful with it throughout his entire career, playing that way. They're not successful against the Rams. So we'll see what they do. But as far as I'm here to try to bring some balance to the conversations. Everybody's riding the Rams very, very high right now. The Rams matched up very, very well against the Bucs, but the teams they're going to play here coming up next, they do not match up very well against. And also, too, Matthew Stafford has played pretty darn well in the playoffs so far. But let's remember, Matthew Stafford in the regular season tied the great Trevor Lawrence for the most interceptions thrown with 17 in the season. He has not thrown one yet in the playoffs. I would not be surprised if he delivers a couple of them to the 49ers, giving them a chance to have a rematch in the Super Bowl with the Chiefs.